Hello, hello. I am 4 months postpartum as a first-time mom, and today I am doing a general life update on baby, breastfeeding, and myself in my postpartum journey. So as far as baby goes, he has gone through some pretty major developmental milestones. So baby is officially rolling over, which is insane. I really thought that he was a little bit behind. I know moms and like parents say don't do the comparison thing, but I just didn't really see him showing any signs that he was about to roll over. So when he finally did, it was actually really exciting because my mom and dad were visiting, so they got to be part of that experience, which was really nice. So from months probably like 2 to 3, he was a phenomenal sleeper. He was actually letting me sleep for like a solid 6 hours. So I had him down to a little routine where I knew his first stretch of sleep was probably 4 hours, and then I would give him a dream feed right before I went to bed myself, and then he would sleep for another 6 hours, and then by that time it was basically time for me to get up to go to work. So that was an ideal situation. I loved it. I actually was not feeling tired at all. I'm looking over here because he's sitting in his bouncer right next to me. And then the 3 to 4 month sleep regression started happening. So he started basically eating like a newborn or waking up every 2 hours, every 2 to 3 hours during the night. And that was very tiring. Yes, it was. Yeah, you're laughing, but I'm not. That has been a whole shift for me because that really has affected my exhaustion during the day. I am now drinking 2 cups of coffee a day. I know it's all part of the process, so I'm not necessarily complaining, but also looking forward to hopefully him getting back to some sort of longer sleep stretches. I haven't really started looking up sleep training quite yet, but I know that it's coming up in the near future. I really don't know. So if you have any advice for the concept of sleep training, please let me know. One big thing that happened recently was he actually got his 2 bottom teeth, which is really cute. I actually cried when I first saw it because I did not even know that there were teeth that were poking through his gums. I knew that he was drooling excessively and he was exhibiting a lot of teething symptoms, but I was not fully convinced that it was actually teething. So yeah, it came at me by surprise, and I cried because I felt like I wasn't giving him enough attention when it was happening. And now I think he's continuing to teeth. I really don't know what's going on, but he has been very, very fussy, which makes me sad. But I'm now a little bit more on high alert, looking to see if there's any teeth that I see peeking through. So we'll see what the cause is. I really don't know. One thing that I love to talk about is my breastfeeding journey, and I am happy to report that it's still going well and strong. He is a chunky little baby. He is probably 16 pounds at this point. I really don't weigh him that much. The last time I weighed him was a few weeks ago, and he was 15 pounds 11 ounces, so he was very, very close. So he's probably like a full 16 pounds by now. Now, I personally work from home, so I am still probably feeding him every 2 hours, every 2 to 3 hours. Sometimes it gets close to 4 hours, but I think that's definitely something that's contributed to healthy weight gain. Still haven't really had any major issues with breastfeeding. My supply has been solid. I will say that he is eating a whole lot faster, which was kind of concerning to me when it first started happening, because he used to go from like maybe 15 minutes on one side to now drinking in 5 minutes. 5 to 6 minutes is pretty much like where he's at right now. And I will now offer him both sides. So sometimes it does go up to maybe like 10 minutes, but usually our feeding nursing sessions are a lot quicker, which makes me a tiny bit sad just because I do love nursing and I just love just laying with him and just having that special bonding moment. However, I will say that when we are running late and we're running out the door, it's awesome being able to feed him. Yeah, he's very, very chatty. That's another thing. That is one thing that I forgot to mention in like his developmental stuff, is he is a very talkative baby. He talks and talks. He's very animated. He can laugh in 1 minute and then in the same breath start crying, which is odd. He also loves to grunt, which I don't know if that's normal. Hopefully it is. Let me know if your baby was a grunter, because he grunts all day, every day. Back to breastfeeding. Yeah, my letdown is a lot less now because my supply is regulated, so that's totally normal. And because I was only collecting, like my milk stash was built only on my letdown, I have really stopped freezing my milk because now I don't get engorged. So what my routine was, and I can do like a separate video, but after he slept like a long stretch, if I felt really engorged on both sides, then I would grab my Haka, and then that's how I would kind of alleviate both sides, because usually he was only drinking off one breast. But now that he's drinking every like 2 to 3 hours during the night, I don't really wake up engorged, so I just don't really feel the need to like collect anything because there's not much coming out. But at the end of the month, I'm actually going on a work trip, so I will be pumping then, so that'll be interesting. I think I need to start like practicing pumping. So if you have any advice for me as a new to pumping mom, please let me know. I will take any advice that I can get. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that I have enough saved up from just all the previous months. So the last thing that ties in to breastfeeding and me is that my period returned. I know it happened a lot sooner than I really was expecting, but my period came back 1 week before he turned 3 months. So that is pretty fast to me. I was really hoping that it didn't happen yet, but she came, and I mean, what can I do? I am not on birth control, so everything that is happening is just all natural. I am not controlling anything at all. So we'll see how regular my periods start coming in. I have had 2 so far. The first one was fine. It was like I had to retrain my brain to remember that I get periods now. So like changing out my tampons and just like, why am I moody? I will say my second period was horrible with my mental health. I was just anxiety ridden. I was just going through it, and it was really difficult. I was talking to one of my coworkers, and I mentioned how I was just feeling really overwhelmed at work. I was honestly back to the place where I was at the end of my pregnancy, when I was just like really down because Ezra wasn't coming, and just like the anxious anticipation of giving birth and him not coming, not showing any signs of labor. It was really tough on me. And yeah, it was basically back to all of those negative feelings. So that was not good. I was really concerned that it was the start of postpartum depression and anxiety. But luckily, once it got to the end of my cycle, I felt so much better, and it was just like a wave of relief just came upon me. So that was good. I'm glad that it was hopefully just a period hormonal thing, but it came at me like a ton of bricks. It was rough. But how that ties into my breastfeeding is that, you know, they say your supply dips during your period, and for some reason I was feeling more engorged during that time. I don't know if it was just like my body playing tricks on me, but I just felt really engorged a lot more. So it was like by hour 3 of him not eating, I just felt really full, and that's just out of the ordinary. It hasn't been like that since my period has ended, but I thought that was interesting and something to note. Oh, and during my period, he actually went sort of like on a breastfeeding strike. I don't know if it was because my parents were visiting and like our routine was just all out of whack. He might have actually just been super overtired, and when I was trying to nurse, he was just like far gone. I'm not really sure, but that was concerning because at that time, like, we don't really give him bottles that often, but we do, and he typically accepts them. And he was rejecting my breast, but he was accepting the bottle. So that was really concerning to me. And I had like a moment of breaking down where I was like crying because he was just like fighting me, and he did not want to go anywhere near my breast. And it was not a good feeling. It was very sad. And luckily that passed, but I don't really know why that happened. So if you happen to know, then I would love to hear your explanation of what you understand, because I want to know if that's something I should expect during my cycle. So now, as far as the rest of my personal updates, the postpartum hair loss has begun in full swing. I am shedding hair like crazy, and I was already like very prone to shedding hair before, and I really feel like I don't have that much hair, so it was already concerning back then, but now it's just like it's happening a lot. And let me just show you. So it is, wow, I really had never seen until yesterday, because my husband pointed it out. Bless his heart, he really didn't mean anything by it, but yeah, he pointed it out, and I was like, let me go take a look. And yeah, it's pretty bad. Luckily I don't wear my hair like this pretty much ever. Sometimes I will like do something like this, and you can start to see it peek through, which sucks. I really don't know when it ends. I kind of looked into it, and it said that the peak of hair loss is like 4 to 5 months postpartum, which is right on track with where I am right now, so that's unfortunate. I definitely have a mom pooch. I started working out, but it's just I am having a really hard time to be accountable to myself in terms of working out, especially because now that his sleep schedule interrupts my sleep schedule, I'm just tired. I can't wake up early anymore the way that I was. There was a week where I was working out twice a day, once just in the morning as like a super easy workout. Yeah, he's chatting over here, so I apologize. Just regressed because his sleep was just all out of whack, so then I was just way too tired. And now I'm just like trying to prioritize certain things. Like I want to make sure that I'm like reading my Bible. I want to spend time with my husband. I want to maintain the house. So it's a whole lot that's happening. I do genuinely want to exercise more, but I need like some sort of accountability, and I don't know what that looks like. So if you have any suggestions, if you want to be accountability workout friends, then let me know, and then we can make something work. I have had to sell, declutter, give away so much of my clothes because they just don't fit anymore. I don't want to say that it's sad, because I'm glad that my body's changing. It obviously was a huge blessing and like miracle that my body did. So I'm trying not to get like worked up about it in any type of way. It's just like there were things that I had just bought that no longer fit, and it's just frustrating. And then like with breastfeeding, a lot of stuff like it's just not practical to wear. So then that adds a whole other element, and then I'm like, well, I want to breastfeed for at least a year, and then it's like, what happens after that? Like, do I keep clothes for like a year later? I overthink things very easily, so that's kind of where I'm at. Overall though, it has been a really great postpartum journey, and motherhood, parenthood has been absolutely amazing. It has exceeded everything that I could dream of. I love my son, I love my family. I am just constantly overwhelmed with just like with joy, just very pure joy. And every time I look at him, I just fall in love even harder, and I'm so excited to finally be in this season of life. If you made it this far, I am so grateful for you. I would love if you left a little yellow heart on the comments just to let me know that you made it this far. You can always follow me on Instagram at Mrs. Daisy Ringgold. I share some of my life there as well. I would love to hear video ideas that you would want to know about me or for me to share. I would love to talk about obviously motherhood stuff, pregnancy, faith, marriage. You let me know, and I will do my best to make it, because I have a long list of videos that I have yet to do. So we're out here, we're trying. So thank you for being my friend and taking the time to hang out with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.